Well, hi, everybody. Good Wednesday morning to you. Meteorologist Travis Klineski here. On the beginning of it's going to be a very long forecast because there is a lot to talk about in what could be an historic day across our area on December 15th, one that could be remembered for a while. First off, high wind warnings in place today, starting at 9 a.m. for most of us, continuing until 9 p.m. Wind gusts to get to high wind warning criteria have to get above 55 miles per hour. We could see wind gusts way stronger than that later on today. Throw that in with what will be some very dry air later today. Now, I want to stop this right here. Look at the moist air in the southeast, at least for this time of the year. Dew points in the 50s. That's pretty unheard of in December here. But then look at the dry air that comes in later today. Combine that dry air, and some models are going worse than this. They're getting dew points down into the teens and single digits. That kind of dry air combined with the nasty winds we'll see later today, and there could be a critical risk for fire danger later on today here. So there's also a red flag warning that'll be in place from noon today until 9 p.m. this evening for areas near and south and east of the Tri-Cities. Any fires that get out of control or get going could easily get out of control and be extremely difficult to contain with the type of winds we're talking later today. Think of power lines getting knocked down. That could spark a fire. Trains, a couple sparks from train wheels could spark something. Cigarettes. If you are a smoker, please, please, please do not discard your cigarettes out your car window outside. Make sure you keep them in a good location where the sparks cannot go anywhere, because again, we are talking about the risk of fires being at a critical level later on today. Look at our future wind gust product here for today. By mid to late afternoon, we could see wind gusts easily get over 70 miles per hour. This particular model is pointing at wind gusts of almost 90 miles per hour in Grand Island. That is a Category 1 hurricane type wind we're talking about right there. That can do a lot of damage to structures, let alone tree branches and power lines, and it could throw trampolines, and your Christmas decorations could be all over the place. And then they'll start to move to the northeast here later on, some wind gusts up near 80 and Ord and York, and then northeast Nebraska, Albion. Over there. Meanwhile, they'll start to lighten up then as we get later into the evening and into the overnight. We'll see those winds start to die down. But again, for a time, we could see some wind gusts, again, non-severe wind gusts on a historic level. That said, there could be some severe wind gusts as well we're going to be talking about in just a bit. So let's take a look at the Futurecast product. For the morning hours, not a lot to talk about other than the wind. We'll see some clearing skies out there, allowing for sunshine to come into play, temperatures elevating into a record territory type situation. And in fact, I'll wait on this. I was going to show record highs. I'll show you those in a little bit here for today. South winds, very blustery by the middle of the day. We could see some gusts already getting close to 50 miles per hour, but look on the backside of that dry line right there. Look how the arrows are even faster out of the southwest. That's pumping in that dry air. The interaction of the warm, moist air ahead of it and the warm, dry air behind it could fire up thunderstorms early to mid-afternoon. By about 2 o'clock, we could be talking thunderstorms in central Nebraska and north central Kansas, including the Tri-Cities. At this point, probably not much of a severe weather threat. Meanwhile, to the northwest, here comes a cold front. And where the air is actually slightly less dry, I guess that's the word to put, less dry behind the cold front than it is just ahead of it here. So basically, we're talking about very dry air here, somewhat humid air here, and then slightly more humid air to the northwest behind this cold front. So there is going to be moisture here. Rain could change to snow as temperatures fall off. So yes, record temperatures here, and then dropping enough that we could see some snow in the northwest. All right, let's take this into the mid-afternoon, 3:30 p.m. This is where we start to talk about severe weather in central to eastern Nebraska here as this dry line pushes eastward. Right here, fire risk getting to a critical level as that dry air pumps in, and we'll see strong winds, very strong. Because this is where our winds start to get to that dangerous level. There could be some nasty wind gusts with this right here because of the severe weather, but non-severe wind gusts could be just as bad right in here. But the other thing we're watching, if there's any kind of little isolated cells right here, there is a tornado risk today in eastern Nebraska. Back to the west, there's our cold front, rain on the backside of the system, transitioning over to snow in the western part of Nebraska. Travel not advised here. Travel not advised anyway with the kind of winds we're going to see, especially high-profile vehicles. North-south roads, the trucks, semi-trucks could get blown over with the type of winds we're going to see today. Throw in some snow, and then it'll be very, very difficult travel conditions, difficult to see here to the west. Let's put this out another hour and a half. At this point now, we're talking about the thunderstorms exiting eastern Nebraska and getting even worse as they push east in the Missouri River. Very, very strong winds. This is where your peak winds are going to be, is right here. We could see wind gusts over 75 miles per hour. Tri-Cities might still have a chance of some rain, and yes, snow just to our west. Let's put this out another 2 hours here. Snow's going to be close to Grand Island, Kearney. A little better chance to the north and west of the Tri-Cities, though. And again, travel not advised right in here. The thunderstorms are now causing big problems in Iowa and Minnesota. The winds are still very strong early this evening. Mid-evening, 9 p.m., the last of the snow is clearing out of northeast Nebraska. The winds, they're still pretty blustery out there, but they're getting better. They're not as bad. They'll get even better as we approach midnight. The wind's still a little bit breezy, but they are nowhere near damage levels at this point here. The last of the clouds start to clear out shortly after midnight. This will take us into quieter weather heading into Thursday. Cooler, but at least much quieter weather. So again, risk of severe weather today. The newest update just came out from the Storm Prediction Center about a half an hour ago. There is a moderate risk of severe weather out for Iowa and Minnesota in mid-December. There is the potential for numerous tornadoes for our neighbors to our east for later on today, mostly late afternoon into the evening hours. But they have basically pushed the enhanced, slight, and marginal risk back into eastern Nebraska. Only the far eastern part of the state was included in this earlier this morning. So now I think there is at least a chance for some isolated tornadoes in this area right in here. Otherwise, strong wind gusts are your biggest threat, but any of us could see strong wind gusts even away from those thunderstorms. But again, yes, isolated tornadoes in eastern Nebraska. Nasty wind gusts out there, easily 60 miles per hour or more. Not much of a hail threat. I don't think we'll see much hail with this here. It's mostly going to be wind gusts, and again, yes, isolated tornadoes in eastern Nebraska. Then there's, yes, the snow. We're talking about tornado snow, record highs, all in one day. It's just incredible, all that we could see here. We are looking at wind gusts that could be pushing, we are going to be looking at the potential for some, hold on real quick here. Dalton, don't take my weather. I'm just letting you know right now. Do not take my weather. Keep national weather going. Okay, so we are sorry about that. I apologize. I had to let people know and our directors know basically not to take my weather while I'm recording this. This is more important right now. I want to get this out there. We are looking at a potential of maybe a couple of inches of snow for areas northwest of the Tri-Cities. 1 to 3 inches of snow not out of the question here, and of course it would be wind-driven snow. So yes. It's amazing all that we could see out there for today. These are your record high temperatures for today, the places that keep track of records. Now, unofficially Kearney, your unofficial number is 64 degrees here, but other areas, they are official numbers here that are on this screen right here. Here is a look at what your highs should be or could be later on today, depending on timing of these fronts and everything like that. But we could be pushing 60s and lower 70s today. Cooler to the northwest, but that's only part of the story because watch how temperatures actually play out today. Let's back this up here. There we go. This is this morning right now. Temperatures warming up into the 60s, near 70 degrees, colder in northwest Nebraska. And then temperatures start to drop off later on during the afternoon. Mid-afternoon, we're already dropping in the Tri-Cities. Out west, much colder. By the end of the afternoon into the early evening, we're down in the 30s in the Tri-Cities. Only warm or mild temperatures that are left are in far southeast Nebraska, and then we are much colder. As we get towards tomorrow morning, we're down into the 20s, maybe even a few spots in the upper teens. Your actual lows tonight dropping back to between the upper teens and the upper 20s tomorrow morning. Highs tomorrow in the 40s. Colder, still above average out there for tomorrow. Tomorrow night, down into the 20s and upper teens again, and then your Friday, 40s for the most part, maybe upper 30s up north, lower 50s to the south. It is going to be a breezier day on Friday as a cold front comes through earlier in the day, and that's actually that colder air to our north is going to come into play on Saturday for the rest of us. Looking at the long-range forecast, there's not a lot going on beyond today. Today is going to be a crazy day of weather, but beyond today, still mild weather for the most part, except for Saturday. Saturday's going to be a chilly day. Not a lot of wind, but chilly. Lots of sunshine. Warming back up on Sunday, and now the big change to this forecast is that Monday does not look nearly as chilly. It looks like we'll stay on the milder side of things. Honestly, I didn't put a lot of effort into this part of the forecast because there's so much going on with just today alone. Tuesday, the first day of winter, we'll be looking at more decently mild weather for this time of the year with quiet weather expected. In fact, the long range shows that we will keep the decently mild temperatures going all the way through the end of next week, right into Christmas Eve there as we get towards the 24th of December. So a lot going on today, not so much after this. I think our weather does remain fairly quiet after today, but you're going to want to be on guard, and this is kind of your one final warning for today. As you see this video, make sure before you head to work or to school, and again, there are a lot of schools closed or letting out early today, and I don't blame them because of the winds we're seeing. We don't want kids out in this. But make sure before you leave home, anything that you have outside that needs to be secured, make sure it is secured. Anything that is loose, that is not tied down or staked down. I'm talking trampolines, Christmas decorations. Even if they're staked down, you may want to consider bringing them in anyway. Flags on your flagpole. Anything else I can think. I can't think of anything else right now, but anything that you have that is loose, bring it in. Bikes, anything like that, bring it in, because things will blow around. We are talking about the type of wind gusts that you see with severe weather, and strong severe weather, not just your normal, typical severe thunderstorm warning, but actually strong severe thunderstorm warning type winds. And then, of course, yes, there is that threat of the isolated tornadoes in eastern Nebraska. We may see our first December tornadoes in 5 years when we saw them on Christmas Day here in central Nebraska. They're very rare. Iowa, Minnesota, there could be, I don't want to say an outbreak of tornadoes, but there could be many tornadoes and possibly strong tornadoes. The Storm Prediction Center has mentioned the threat for strong tornadoes in Iowa and Minnesota today, just south of Minneapolis there. Minnesota, tornadoes, it's supposed to be icy and cold in December. That is just crazy, my goodness. So, long-winded forecast. I apologize taking up so much of your time, but I want to get the word out there because there are so many things going on. If you've missed any part of this forecast, go back, watch it from the beginning, get everything you need to know. Thank you for watching. I will see you tomorrow morning on a much calmer Thursday morning. Until then, be safe out there today, and I'll see you all again tomorrow morning. Take care. Bye.